UFC 313 is going down this weekend, man. Today I'm about to give you my early predictions on the whole entire card. Nothing's official. I'm going to make my breakdown on the main event a full video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Probably going to drop it tomorrow. But anyways, let's hop right into these early predictions. I know we got a new fight announced. John Castaneda versus Chris Gutierrez, and I'll actually just go over that right now. And I think that Chris Gutierrez wins, but like I said, I'm not too interested in that fight. But I did just do film. Both guys should be ready because I think that Gutierrez was booked for someone else. I can't remember. But anyways, kind of got off track there. Let's hop into the first fight, which is going to be Djorden Santos versus Ozzy Diaz. This could be the worst fight in a long time. So if you're preparing to watch this card from prelim to the main event, I would skip this prelim. I think this fight's going to absolutely suck. You know what? I feel like Ozzy Diaz should be fed to a middleweight that actually has potential. Djorden Santos got a win on the Contender Series. Djorden Santos is horrible. He beat Will Curry, I want to say. Don't, bash me if I'm wrong here, but a Cage Warriors guy, and he didn't look good, Djorden Santos. As you can see by the picture, man, he's a middleweight. I'll move my camera just so you can take a look at Djorden Santos real quick. I'll actually put it up here anyways. I'm sorry. The guy's fat. He's a fat middleweight. He's like 28 years old. He doesn't look 28. He doesn't do much well, man. He's got decent volume striking, not a lot of power behind his shots. And from what I watched of him, when I was doing film for the Contender Series, I didn't like him, and I definitely didn't think he was going to win, but he did get a win. And now he's getting a fight against a guy who shouldn't really be here as well. And Ozzy Diaz, who was on the Contender Series, lost, went back to LFA, done well over there, and now he finds himself back here after getting knocked out by Ming Yang Zhang. I'm going to go with Ozzy Diaz. Not a confident pick, but I think that the underdog price on him is a little bit, people are kind of thinking Santos is something good when he's really not. Diaz is more power for sure than that right-handed. If he can catch Santos, catch him in the pocket, where Santos spends a lot of his time throwing pitter-pat shots. I think that Diaz can catch him with something big and drop him, put him out, hopefully. Maybe not, but this fight sucks, guys. Literally one of the worst fights you can make. Both these guys, to me, not really UFC level. No offense, of course. I'm sitting behind my computer screen, so I can't say shit. But I'm just being honest. So let's hop into the next one. I'll go with Ozzy Diaz via KO. Not excited for this fight. Next up, I am excited for this one. You got Marion Santos taking on Francis Marshall. Now, there's two fights on this card where you got two young and up-and-coming fighters. This is one of them. These guys aren't as good as the flyweights in my opinion, but I'll get to that. Marion Santos versus Francis Marshall. Now, Marion Santos, as you may or may not know, Ultimate Fighter guy, and I wasn't big on Ultimate Fighter because I usually feel like the people coming off that show kind of shit. There's not a lot of good fighters coming off that show anymore. They used to be, but now you're not really looking at it. I think the Contender Series got way better guys. But anyways, Marion Santos, man, I had to watch him back, and I've actually done film on this fight, so this will be my official pick. I have a couple more that I've done film on. But Marion Santos is damn good. He's really good. He's a very good striker. Now, Francis Marshall, to win this fight, he's got to get the fight to the mat. He can't sit out here and stand. And he's not a bad striker. He's just way too hittable. So there's a lot of things that I'm liking about Marion Santos in this fight. I like how Marion Santos is very patient. He's very calm. He never overextends. He waits for his right shots. He's patient, man. And I love seeing that out of strikers. Because this guy's not going to want the fight on the ground. So by doing what Marion Santos does, not overextending, putting himself into bad positions, he usually is not getting taken down. Now, he has been taken down a couple of times. And Francis Marshall, he's a decent wrestler. He's decent. He's nothing crazy, but Santos should get it done. I think that Marshall is not bad. I think that Marion Santos is a very good fighter. I don't know if I like the number where I think that Marion Santos is minus 350. Don't necessarily like that, but Santos more powerful, and he's got some of the best leg kicks I've seen, man. His leg kicks are devastating. They're precise, takes you right off your feet. He does a really good job with those leg kicks. He's powerful, but he's very patient and methodical in his fight, and his striking. There's a lot to like from him. I think that Francis Marshall gets hit way too much. His defense is terrible. He's very much open to counters. And, I just go back to the fight where he fought Dennis Bazooka just last time out. the amount of times the guy gets hit, man, it's hard for me to see him winning this fight on the feet. So I think that if this fight's on the feet, it's going to be all Marion Santos. If it hits the ground, it's not going to be all Francis Marshall, but he does hold the advantage there. I think that Santos is the correct pick here. I'll go with Marion Santos to win this fight by a decision. I think that he'll, land the better shots, maybe not find the finish. Marshall's a tough guy, but I like Santos here. The next fight up, you got Carlos Leal taking on Alex Morono. Let me pull these up here. I apologize. So Alex Morono is actually a massive underdog coming in at plus 525. Now, Alex Morono, he's a bit of a weird fighter. He stands on his tippy toes, essentially, and he's a striker, but he has a good submission game. I actually think that Alex Morono's submission game is really, really good. Now, the problem for him in this fight is I don't know if he's going to be able to get it to the ground, right? Morono, like I said, has a great submission game. His wrestling isn't that good. And I think he's in front of a guy like Leal who just proved how good he is, right? He got completely robbed versus Renat Fakhretdinov, and everybody knows it. And it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and keep talking about it. I wish I could because I did pick and bet on Leal to go out there and beat him, and he clearly did. But somehow a unanimous decision was given. One of the worst robberies ever, and I'll stand by that. I don't care what anybody says. Horrible. But anyways, I think Leal gets it done. I don't see Morono getting this fight to the mat, and what we've seen out of Leal is just great boxing, great volume, great pressure, good durability, good takedown defense, great calf kicks as well. He's a very good striker. It's a tough matchup for Morono, and it's almost like that matchup last week, how I feel like Danny Barlow versus Patterson, where Sam Patterson got the finish. Crazy, but I think that it's similar like that to that. The matchup's bad for Morono, and I think that Leal will get it done. I don't think by a KO, but maybe he does. Maybe like a body shot drops Morono. Like Morono lost to fucking Nico Price last time out, so that's pretty damn embarrassing. I think he gassed out, and it might have been on short notice for him, but it's Nico Price, man. So I'm going to go with Leal to win this one by a knockout body shot. We'll say body shot. Let's move on. So I've done film for this fight as well. Bruno Fereira versus Armen Petrosyan. Petrosyan, both these guys are coming off losses. Bruno to Abbas Magomedov and Armen Petrosyan to Shara Magomedov. So Armen Petrosyan, he's got some decent wins on his record. Christian Leroy Duncan and Gregory Rodriguez. Armen Petrosyan, good volume, good kickboxer. Not much power in his hands, but he does have good volume. He can be taken down. His 30% takedown defense, but he does usually does a good job getting back up to his feet. But he doesn't do anything that special to me. And I think that there's not much power in his hands. Yes, I think he's a good striker, but I don't really see him having a ton of power. Now, I think he holds the advantage here in cardio, endurance, and volume. And that could be big. That really could be big against a guy like Bruno Fereira. But I'm going to go ahead and take the underdog, Bruno, who's sitting at plus 130 almost. And I think that the versatility of Bruno, I think that how versatile he is. The guy has a very good judo background, right? These are more unorthodox takedowns. You don't usually see these, right? And Petrosyan, not good takedown defense, good at getting up. I think that Bruno can get him to the mat. We haven't seen a lot of Bruno Ferreira's grappling, but if you do go back to his regional fights and some of those other ones, you do see him grapple quite a bit. And I know he's got 3 submissions on his record. He definitely has decent jiu-jitsu as well. And obviously the guy's power as well, right? He's powerful on the feet, dangerous on the feet. I do think it'll be hard for him to catch Petrosyan and find him. But he likes to counter off calf kicks, does Bruno Fereira, and Petrosyan throws a lot of calf kicks, so I could see something like that. But Petrosyan is the better striker. I'm not going to lie to y'all. If Bruno Fereira doesn't come out and wrestle, I wouldn't pick him. But I think he is going to wrestle. This guy was one of the only people to take down Phil Hawes, right? So there is good wrestling, good judo, good top control in his game. Obviously, he just got submitted. But his offensive wrestling is good, and that's where I think I lean towards in this fight. I think, he's been working really hard, it looks like. I like him to win here, man. I think it's a tight fight in general, but I like the versatility on Bruno, and hopefully he doesn't gas out, and hopefully he can get this fight to the mat. I don't see him not being able to get it to the mat, but we'll see what happens. I think that Bruno's the right side for me. I'll go with Bruno Fereira to win this fight. You could go submission. possibly, or a decision. No decisions for Bruno at all. He's either getting finished or he's not getting or he's finishing someone. My bad. I'll go with Bruno via finish. This is the fight I was talking about. The young flyweights on this card. You got Rei Tsuruya versus Joshua Van. Guys, I like Joshua Van a lot, and this is not my official pick, of course. You know, I haven't done film on this fight. But I'm going with Rei Tsuruya. I think that the kind of wrestling and grappling that I've seen out of this guy, I watched a video from Reddit, and I don't even know why I was on Reddit in the first place, but dude, I saw like his unorthodox takedowns and how this guy can wrestle. It is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's not like a double leg. It's not like a single leg. It's so different, right? He's got judo. He's got different type of wrestling, you know, like suplexes and stuff. It's very weird the way that Rei Tsuruya wrestles. And when he gets you to the mat, man, his flowing ability is unbelievable. This guy's able to go out there and control Carlos Hernandez, who I do think is a better wrestler than Joshua Van, a better scrambler than Joshua Van. And Hernandez has given a lot of guys fits on the mat. Rei Tsuruya was able to do really, really well for the first part, right? The second part of that fight, he did struggle a little bit. Now, if this fight gets extended, it's going to be trouble for Tsuruya because Van's going to be all over him, not going to give him any room. And if Tsuruya's cardio is not in check, it's going to be a long night, especially towards when you get to the end of that fight. But the thing about it is I don't see Van being able to scramble as well as a guy like Carlos Hernandez. The way, I'm telling you guys, the way that Tsuruya grapples, man, it's different. It's unorthodox. It's hard to, you know, really see. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll put a video in the description, the video that I watched, and it was so impressive. I was so impressed. He's a slight underdog here, plus 160. I don't think Van has seen the type of takedowns and been able to get reps on these type of takedowns that Rei Tsuruya is coming with, right? I know he just defended takedowns from Cody Djorden. This is a different beast. This is a different beast in terms of the wrestling from this guy. It's not the same. His jiu-jitsu is different. He's much, much better on the ground than Cody Djorden, Felipe Bunez. Way better to me. I think that what I've seen out of Rei Tsuruya is unbelievable. And obviously, we know what Joshua Van's capable of. But the guy says he's only been wrestling for 6 or 7 months. Rei Tsuruya's got wrestling probably forever, right? Junior Olympic qualifier or something like that. But that doesn't even matter. I think the guy's extremely good on the mat, and his transitions are fluid. He's probably one of the better wrestlers I've seen in the UFC. And I'm going to pick him to win here. I think it could be a tight fight, but I actually love the number at plus 160, and I'll probably be betting on Rei pretty soon here before that number goes down because I do believe that, we're going to start to see people kind of realize how good this guy is. But anyways, let's hop into the next one. I'll go with Rei Tsuruya. I'll go by a submission. I think he can get a submission here. Next one is going to be Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev. Look, guys, I'm here to tell you I'm not a big Curtis Blaydes fan. I think he's one of the most overrated fighters on the roster, and I think a guy like even Shamil Gaziev could give him a lot of fits. Now, to me, Curtis Blaydes, he's very mediocre. He's a decent wrestler, and, obviously he's got the most takedowns, I believe, in the heavyweight history, maybe. It doesn't do much for me. I think he's very basic on the feet. I think he doesn't hit that hard. And like I said before, very basic on the feet. There's nothing crazy about him. He has horrible fight IQ. He tenses up when he gets hit. And anytime he's put in front of a dangerous guy, it seems like he's going to get knocked out every single time. He takes on Rizvan Kuniev, who is fat as hell, as you can tell by the picture here. But he's not that bad. He's not that bad. He can strike. He can wrestle. He's good inside that clinch. That's probably his best asset is being inside the clinch. But I think he's the better boxer here. Obviously, he's probably not as athletic as you can tell by the picture. He popped for roids when he fought the dude who fought Francis Ngannou, the big-ass Brazilian guy. Can't remember his name, but he wrestled him the whole entire time, and then he popped for roids, and then he comes on the Contender Series, and he looks fat as hell. So, I don't really know what to expect from Kuniev, but his skill set's not bad. I think he can win this fight. I think that Blaydes is very overrated, and Kuniev is coming in at a hefty favorite, underdog. I'll go with Kuniev. I don't know, bro. I don't like Blaydes. I don't know. I'll have to watch Kuniev a little bit more, but I already know what I don't like about Blaydes, and I've known that forever, so I'll go with Kuniev, but not my official pick. We'll move on to the next one, which is going to be the start of the main card. It's going to be Bobby Green taking on Mauricio Ruffy. Let me just highlight this before anybody. You guys see that? Mauricio Ruffy is minus 460. Guys, I know that everybody likes this guy. He had a good performance. Did he have a good performance last? This guy lost a round to James fucking Lontop, man. He lost a round to him. You know, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like, obviously, like, Ruffy holds some advantages here. And number one being the durability, because Bobby is, you know, he's had a lot of fights, as you can tell. He's a bit chinny. And he's been knocked out cold bad a couple times. But guys, why? Why is this number like this? I mean, I guess I could see Ruffy finishing the fight. And I think that's the only way he wins. And I will say, James Lontop, while he sucks and he's nowhere near Bobby Green's level, he does have the durability of, like, bro, these like Central Latin American people, like the Peruvian people, bro, their chins are just different, man. I don't know what it is. Like Venezuela, Argentina, except not Argentina does, but not Santiago Ponzinibbio. His chin is the worst ever. But anyways, I think that those guys just have different durability, right? James Lontop's durability is it's crazy. Peruvian chin. The Peruvian people have crazy chins, bro. And Lontop is proving that because he ate some insane shots against Ruffy. Now, there's obviously he's going to say, I don't think Green is going to rush in that much as a guy like, you know, Lontop was able to. But does Ruffy find that KO shot? He probably does. And I don't like the number whatsoever because I think if we're seeing a Bobby Green that sees these shots coming and the fight gets extended, we're going to see Bobby Green take this guy to school, right? He's going to pressure. He's going to come forward. He's going to land way more volume. And he's going to give Ruffy some issues. Now, I actually did call for this fight after, what was it, UFC 308, 309. I was like, let's do Ruffy versus Bobby Green, and they ended up doing it. I think that Ruffy's going to win. This is my early prediction, of course, but I'll be looking into Green, of course, you know, possibly as a live bet more of. But I'll go with Ruffy. I don't like the number whatsoever, but I do think that he is going to find a shot and probably put Bobby out because Bobby's durability, man. It's kind of bad, man. Anyways, move on to Amanda Lemos versus Iasmin Lucindo. Not going to lie to y'all, I don't know much about Iasmin. I know Amanda fought for the title against Zhang Weili where she got wrestled. So if Iasmin comes in and wrestles, we'll see her win. I think if she strikes with Lemos, she's going to be in trouble. Guys, I don't know much about this fight. I'll do film and do it. I'll go with Lemos first, but don't know much about it. Another fight that I've done film on. Jalin Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. A great fight here. A different matchup, but I feel like I got a great read here. Now, disclaimer here, I am a big Jalin Turner fan. He's probably in my top 10 favorite fighters, so there could be a little bit of bias here. Now, when you look at these odds, you're actually looking at Jalin Turner as the underdog, and I absolutely love it. I think that when you look at this fight, you're getting a different style against another style, right? You're looking at Jalin Turner, who's actually more of a boxer than a kickboxer at range. That's what Ignacio Bahamondes is. He likes to be at range. He likes to use those kicks, the calf kicks, those straight shots, but he's not going against a small guy. He's going against a bigger guy with a longer reach. I think that when this fight gets inside of that pocket area, Turner's going to be the guy with quicker hands, the better combinations, and the faster guy. Now, Ignacio Bahamondes has a loss on his record, and it's versus Ludovic Klein, who is a fast, great boxer. I don't think Turner's as fast as Ludovic Klein, but I think he is fast. He's longer than Klein, of course, and he puts together kind of the same combinations out of that southpaw stance. And Bahamondes got tagged in that fight. He almost got finished in that fight and lost 30-27. I think that Jalin Turner can, kind of replicate that game plan, and Turner's hands are quick. Now, he has had issues with the cardio. We'll see how that holds up, but if this fight's just straight up in the middle, man, all 3 rounds, I'd go with Turner easily. Now, I don't know much about the grappling of Bahamondes. It's not the best. I know Turner has probably better submission skills than Bahamondes, and Bahamondes probably has a better gas tank here. But I think bigger shots, the harder shots are coming from Turner. I like the athleticism. I like the speed, and obviously you can say I'm biased, but I think that the point or the description that I provided is very valid. I think that it's very valid, and I do see that Turner going out here, winning this fight, putting together better combinations, landing the harder shots, and possibly getting a finish here. But it's very reminiscent of that fight versus Ludovic Klein. Southpaw, good, sharp boxer with good technique. That's what Jalin Turner is, and I think that Turner gets this one done. Now, fight gets later on into the fight, I don't know, man. It gets a little bit hairy. I'm excited for this one. I like both guys. But I'd see that Bahamondes is starting to trend towards the larger favorite, and I am a little bit confused because this isn't a grappler that's fighting Jalin Turner. This is a striker. That's why Turner's been losing, is because he's in front of grapplers. Renato Moicano, maybe not Dan Hooker, Mateus Gamrot. But yeah, man, Turner's downfall's always been his cardio. But I don't think he's in front of a guy that's going to pressure him so much, right? And I think that if Ignacio does try to pressure him, especially early on, Turner will find the kill shot and maybe put him out. But I'm going with Jalin Turner here. I think he's a better boxer, better inside the pocket where this fight should take place more of, right? I'm going with Turner. A possible KO. The co-main event, Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev 2. We got the rematch in this fight, and I love it, man. I know that, we couldn't get Gaethje versus Hooker. Well, I actually like Gaethje in that one, but we got Fiziev. Justin Gaethje, the guy's coming off one of the worst knockouts ever. And you got Rafael Fiziev on the other end coming off a very bad knee injury where he has not fought in 2 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how this fight goes. Fiziev, when you look at him, he's the better kicker. He's probably the faster guy. Doesn't hit as hard. He is not as explosive. He is pretty damn explosive, but good takedown defense. Expect this fight to be on the feet. It's a 3-rounder. Fiziev, I know he hasn't been in the octagon for a while now, but he's been tweeting, talking about I need to fight, I want to fight. So I'm assuming that the guy's been training to some extent, maybe not to a full camp of, being prepared, but he's definitely prepared in some sense to go out there and fight. He knows what he has on the table here, and it's Justin Gaethje, great leg kicker, big combinations. His combinations maybe not as good of technique as some other guys, but his ability to just pour it on you and his power is different. He's durable. He was durable. I don't know anymore, but he was durable, so we'll see what happens. I'm going with Fiziev. I think that he won the first fight, or maybe not won it, but it was very close, and I think that eye poke changed it. I think we're in for a great fight here, but I think that Fiziev, I'd rather have a guy coming off a knee injury off of 2 years than a guy coming off one of the worst knockouts ever. That's just a personal thing, and that's not the whole fight, but this is an early prediction, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going with Rafael Fiziev to win this fight. I'm going to go by a KO, second round. The main event, I'm not going to go into too much depth here because I do want to make that video. I'll be going with Magomed Ankalaev. I think that the mixing in the wrestling is going to work here. When I watch Alex on the ground, he does some things right, and I know he's had a good amount of time to train for it, but you can't just look at Magomed Ankalaev as a wrestler. Obviously, he can wrestle, but the guy can strike, and he's a damn good striker. I think this is the worst matchup for Pereira, a guy who can wrestle and a guy who on the feet doesn't take chances. He's very patient, methodical on the feet. He's not going to go out there and overextend, put himself in a bad position to get hit by these shots. I think it's the worst matchup for Alex possible. And you're looking at an underdog or a pick'em for Magomed. I think I'll be betting on him, but I don't want to give too much away because I am going to break down the fight fully. But that is going to wrap it up for me. Let me know what y'all think about my picks, how all of these fights go, and I'll catch you in the next one.